Hello everyone, I'm Sethum and welcome back to another tutorial video. So, you want to get your very own rock elemental. Well, good news everyone, I am going to show you how to do this, and here's the best bit, you can do it solo. That's right guys, you can do it solo and you can have your very own army of rock elementals. So if you like this video and find it useful, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe if you want more videos like this, because it helps me out an absolute ton. And if you have any comments or have anything to say, don't forget to say it down in the comment section. I do read my comments, and let's get into the video. Okay, so I am now outside of my base, as this is where I have chosen to build my elemental trap. So the first line of pillars, as you can see, is in the shape of the letter U. Well, kind of. It's a very weird looking letter U, but you get the idea. I have made the first line of pillars out of metal because stone takes damage, as they are stone elementals, rock elementals anyways. And behind that there is another line of pillars which is designed to absorb damage, as I will use that as a shield, behind which I will hide my mount that I will aggro the elemental on. Also, an important note here, if you do choose to build your trap next to your base, as I have done, you should put up some pillars, as when the rock splits in air, the rock that the elemental throws, it may do damage to your building, and it does quite a bit of damage. So those pillars will also absorb the damage from the shards of rock that will be flying around. I have placed my cannon on a 2x2 foundation and enclosed it with dino gateways and used stone pillars to make a roof. That way the cannon is safe when not in use, because it's quite an expensive thing to build here on Scorched Earth. Because I have built my cannon on a 2x2 foundation, I also have enough room to place a storage box in which I can store my cannonballs, as they can weigh quite a fair bit, and if you're going for high level elementals you will need quite a few cannonballs. I personally have chosen to build my cannon and trap obviously on a slight slope, so that means my cannon is quite high compared to where the rock elemental's head is, and I find it easier to aim that way. Also, the first line of pillars, the ones in the shape of the letter U, are 3 pillars tall, because I just want to stop the elemental and not cover him up. You will see later in the video what I am referring to. Also, the second line of pillars will be quite tall, as they are acting as a shield, which will take all the damage, as I will be using my mount as a way of keeping aggro on the elemental. So the elemental will be focused on my mount and the pillars will absorb all the damage, because it needs to be in its humanoid form in order to be tamed. So here we have another design inspired off of my trap, as I have shared it with people on my server, but there are a few issues that I find with it, or well, the person who's built it has had some issues with it anyways, and I'm going to show you exactly what the issue is. Now, he's done very good here in the sense that the second line of pillars are tall, so they will absorb the incoming damage. As you can see, he's pretty much followed my layout. He has built his cannon slightly higher, as it is quite easy to aim at the elemental's head, as that is where you will need to hit it if you do want to tame it. Otherwise, if you hit it elsewhere, you will actually do damage to it instead of doing torpor. Now, as you can see, I'm looking at a pillar that has had some damage to it, and that is because the cannonball has hit the pillar instead of the rock elemental. There we go. You can see that it has had quite a lot of damage done to it, and that is simply because the pillars are far too tall. That is why I recommend that the first line of pillars, the ones in the shape of the letter U, are only 3 tall, as their only purpose is to stop the elemental from going any further, whereas the second line of pillars is actually your line of defense. Additionally, by placing behemoth gateways at the other end, you can use that same trap to trap other big games such as Rexes, Carnos, and so on. Okay, with all that out of the way, let's get down to the taming side of the video. So for this video, I am going to use my wyvern to lure it to the trap, as this elemental is quite close to my base. And I have chosen a low level elemental to tame for the purpose of this video, as I haven't got any kibble anymore, and I am going to use sulfur, which means it will take an eternity to tame. So as I am trying to lure it, you can see that the rock elemental does tend to lose aggro quite quickly. So I will have to go backwards and forwards and aggro it over and over again, and just kind of slowly walk it towards the trap. You can also do this with an RG, especially now with the speed nerf. You can very easily just fly ahead of the rock elemental whilst maintaining aggro on. I do recommend that you have an RG with quite a bit of hit points on it, as it might get hit a couple of times. So now that I've brought it to the entrance of my trap, I'm slowly going to lure it inside. Now this is where you will take the most damage, because you have to wait for it to get really close to you so that it follows you, because for some reason, once I lure it in here, it seems to want to walk away, as you can see. So I don't know if it's something to do with the structures or whatnot, but you might have to go back a couple of times and aggro it again and then walk it back in. I have had cases where it was in the trap and all of a sudden it just turned around and walked out. So that's why I recommend something with quite a bit of hit points, because you will take a few hits in order to lure it into the trap. So now that I have it here, I want to get it to follow me to the first line of pillars, the one in the shape of the letter U. And I will wait there for a couple of seconds just to let it get really close, as there are 2 lines of pillars, and by the time I get behind the second line, I don't want it to lose aggro. Once it's close enough to the pillars, I'm just going to go around the area that holds my cannon, position my wyvern in such a manner, or flyer in such a manner, that it will still retain aggro on the rock elemental, but the pillars will be in front of it, which will absorb damage. So as you can see, it wants to derp out a bit, so I keep going forwards a bit, just enough to re-aggro it, and then slowly creep back and just kind of stick the wyvern's head out so that it is still within aggro range, but it doesn't take damage. There we go, that does it. The elemental is still focused on my mount, so I'm going to try and jump off, quite literally, because I get stuck on it every time. Now there might be a bit of tweaking here, in that the wyvern's head might be in the way, so that means I might have to walk back a bit. Let's see. So I'm gonna see. Yeah, it looks like I need to walk back a bit. I think that should do it. Right, I'm stuck again. Brilliant. So I'm just going to check down the barrel of the cannon to make sure that my wyvern's head is not in the way, because I don't want to hit my wyvern. Yeah, that does it. Yeah, that looks alright. So as you can see, that was splash damage that actually hit my wyvern. You actually heard my wyvern scream, which is why I said put additional pillars if you do build it around your base. Okay, so I'm going to load the cannon now. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. I don't know if I hit it. So I want to position myself slightly on the side of the cannon so I can actually see where the cannon goes. And as you've seen, once you hit the elemental, it will make an animation. That's when you know you've hit it in the right place. The place you want to aim is for the elemental's head, as that's how you will do torp or damage to it. Hit it anywhere else and you will just do damage to it, and the purpose of it is to tame, not kill it. There we go. Now that it's down, I am going to close off the cannon and start taming it. Here we go. So he is now tamed. He is at level 35. This is the level that he was at. I haven't gained any taming effectiveness because I have not used any kibble, but that's alright. I will find a purpose for him. just a note, if you do use silver, it will take a long time to tame it, so I do actually recommend doing it next to your base or close to your base, as that way you can carry on with your base chores and not just sit around babysitting it. I hope that you have enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you have, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more videos like this. And why not go and check out some of my other videos, you might just enjoy them. If you want some other taming stuff or tutorials, don't forget to tell me what you'd like to see down in the comments section. And until next time, stay safe guys.